It's a beautiful morning out there to you as you join us on our flagship newspaper review. It's a beautiful Tuesday morning in the FCT, and I also assume across the world as humanity wakes up to another bright day, another day full of promises. So as a human being, we need to be grateful for another opportunity, for another 24 hours. How are you going to? Welcome to the show. Usually we'll take a trip around the pages of the news, move the stories, and have some in-depth analysis later in the course of the program. And to do that, my guests are newspapers in the country. And we start off with the Vanguard newspapers. And the Vanguard newspaper leads with high tariff. Students lament blackout. It's talking about the power situation in the country. And still the Vanguard newspaper, controversy as manufacturers reject NBS inflation figures. And a little bit of the story in the foreign scene. Biden comes down, Trump's running Adelica's phone hacked. Government issues warning. Wow, that's a new one. Band A was as of read that story. Government, okay. Makinde sets up committee to review Supreme Court judgment on local government financial autonomy. And controversy as manufacturers reject NBS inflation figure. Read that earlier. Land grabbing allegation. FG investigates Ajib shell in Bayelsa. Still on the Vanguard newspaper, Egbin Power launches Innovation Hub to equip future leaders, ignite creativity. FG USAID partner on $75 million for energy transition. That's some good news there for Nigerians. And still staying with the Vanguard newspaper, Rivers people told Tinubu, you have brought fresh hope to Ogoniland. Local government autonomy. NAS will legislate to ensure INEC conduct local council's election. Karimi, that's one of the lawmakers in the National Assembly. Going to the national chairman of the Eva State House of Assembly crisis, PDP disassociates itself from Rivers appeal suit. And more and more and more. And now to the Edo-Ondo elections. It's according to INEC. And Tribunal sacks Sokoto Reps member Yusuf Yabo. Nigeria loses $9 billion yearly to illegal mining activities. This is according to the House of Representatives. And yes, this story broke yesterday. Some cherry news for Nigerians. UAE resumes visa issuance to Nigerians. And federal government donates truck of rice to 36 states and the FCT. Okay, next is the leadership newspaper. DB in final race to replace Yemi Esun. Autonomy. Algon wants upward review of local government allocation. Assisting with the leadership newspaper, Governor Aliha appoints governing council for tertiary institution. Governor Aliha is the governor of Benue State. And Singapore strategic crossroads, navigating uncertainty. That's in the leadership newspaper. Finally, UAE lifts travel ban in Nigerians. Well, we got that story before. And some good news there for Nigerian travelers. Okay, I think that will be all for the leadership newspapers. Okay, and Daily Trust leads with the UAE story. Travel agents excited as UAE lifts visa ban on Nigerians. Federal government paid disengaged immigration officers 17 years after. Federal government launches surveillance program against medical rehabilitation quackery. Okay, more corrupt than public offices. That's according to the EFCC boss. Okay, the Punch newspaper is next. Supreme Court got it wrong on local government autonomy. That's from the Punch newspaper. This looks like an editorial from the Punch newspaper. I still staying with the Punch newspaper. Pro-Wiki lawmakers bar Fubara from state revenue, warning against violation. And this is coming from the Nobel laureate, our own dear Professor Wole Soyinka. He said, I never knew I would live up to be 90 years. Wow. Over the week, in the last 1 week, it's been celebration galore for Professor Wole Soyinka. Playwright, don't forget. Okay. I almost got carried away. Never knew I was on radio, but let's leave that for now before Mr. Salami takes me to task. Okay, still staying with the Punch newspaper. Court OK's Kano Emirate law repeal. Sacks Bayero. OC faces criticism over alleged dollar billing on mean update. OPS blames insecurity as food inflation hits 40.8%. OPS, that's the organized private sector. One arrested as community forums Lagos businessman's abduction. Now, this is good news. Division trumps unity in U.S. election campaign. Elites frustrating effort to stop foreign miners. Military. The newspapers today. We'll come back after the short break to unveil our guest who is already seated in the studio. It's still Newspaper Review 93.7 FM Abuja. Please don't go away.
Wake up. Reach out. Speak up. Speak out. You are the voice of a new generation. And this is...
Bored or confused? Want your dream to brightly glow? Here is what to do. Women's Corner is waiting just for you. Education, work, provide solutions and see you through. Finding your voice, reaching high and making an impact. Women's Corner, where knowledge can fly. Join us every Mondays and Wednesdays at 1 p.m. for inspiring stories and practical advice to reach all your glories. It's Women's Corner on Citizen 93.7 FM Abuja.
President clearly behind it, the way the people took the battle in their hands. Some civil servants will die without a roof.
of IFA. Because
if we cannot trust you, then you cannot take the ticket of this country. Who say cannot be divorced from those who cause the crime? Honestly,
the passion.
You must have national spread. So where is it? Why are you so concerned about that? He said money was fine. No.
The platform is always the same.
Insight on Citizen FM 93.7.
The source is constant.
My name is Lawrence Moite.
There is always an opportunity.
Tomorrow Insight returns with another interesting
Insight with Lawrence Moite on Citizen 93.7 FM Abuja. Be part of the experience.
Did you miss out on the news during the week? Not to worry. Retrospect is here to make up for the misinformation. Retrospect is a complete package of all the major news headlines that made the airwaves from Sunday to Saturday. Join me, Esther Musu, on the program Retrospect on Citizen 93.7 FM Abuja every Sunday at 6 p.m. Retrospect. We keep you informed.
There is no health without mental health. As Nigerians, we are in a battle of survival. We are all coming from a lot, going through a lot, or going into a lot. About 50 million Nigerians suffer one mental disorder or just tired of life. Your feelings are valid. This is My Mental Health Niger, and I am Dima Amadi on Citizen 93.7 FM Abuja. On My Mental Health Niger, we share secrets, real-life stories, and conversations that shed light on mental health in Nigeria. Join me every Thursday 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. as we dissect matters of our minds. My Mental Health Niger, let's look out for each other.
Security and Civil Defense Corps, NSCDC. We are Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, NSCDC. To put to work efficiency, bringing credibility into concept of security. We are Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, NSCDC.
Wake up. Reach out. Speak up. Speak out. You are the voice of a new generation. And this is
Alright, thank you so much for staying tuned. It's still newspaper review on Citizen 93.7 FM Abuja. My name is Lawrence Sumote. Welcome to the second part of the show where we look at the stories in detail, some of the headlines in detail. And my guest is already in the studio, Mr. Salman Salami. Welcome to the show.
The Grandmaster himself. Keep on presenting.
Good morning, Mr. Salami is the COO of Citizen 93.7 FM, and he's going to help us make sense of some of the headlines that we are going to be looking at in detail. Mr. Salami, we start off with election matters. 134 observer groups to monitor Edo-Ondo elections. This is according to INEC. The Independent National Electoral Commission says 134 observer groups would be is according to Sam Olumeko, who is the National Commissioner and Chairman Information and Voter Education, discloses in a statement earlier in Abuja. Mr. Salami, before now, the build-up to the Edo and Ondo election has been very, very interesting. You know how local politics is. Well, let's look at observer.
I've been observing elections since the days of Professor Morris Iwu, and I know the politics of even observers monitors. Initially we were observers, later they turned us to monitors. Here, the important thing is this: quite many of the members of the NGOs that were accredited by INEC to monitor election do not even know what they are looking for. We've said it times and times over that there is the need to deepen our democracy. It must not only be knowledge driven. The people observing elections should be people who are knowledgeable, who will add value to the electoral process in Nigeria in such a manner that incrementally will be having a better election. Or what else should be the duty or the essence of having observers or monitors? What we are saying is this: we know what goes on in INEC, and I think this is something I would not like to say on here.
But you're saying it already.
The question is this: what are the criteria? We know, clearly stated, but the thing is this: were they really taught, brought up to speed as to what and what should you look for when you are on the field? Secondly, do they write their report as required to submit a report? Because these are the raw materials that will help INEC to improve on its operations. Well, they are to monitor election or observe election as it were, both in Edo and Ondo State. The die is cast. Be it as it may, INEC is trying its best, but there is need to do more, but there is more to be done, and we cannot improve on what we are doing, because if we do things as usual, it is foolhardy to expect unusual results.
All right, Mrs. Amber, the question is, what exactly is the impact of election observers? Because over the years we see what happens, just like you said, after elections, reports are written, press conferences are called, and that's it. I don't think I can remember any election that was annulled because the reports from monitors when local government elections are conducted.
Lawrence, election observers are Nigerians. Although in presidential election, European Union and other international bodies do come to monitor and observe election, and you will see their own report is always different from our own reports. Why? We all know the Nigerian
level generates so much interest because we always see a pattern to local government
elections.
elections.
Is not big. And the states.
That's for now. Let's come back to some good things from the Tribune newspaper. UAE resumes visa issuance to Nigerians. The federal government and the government of the United Arab Emirates have signed an agreement for the resumption of visa issuance to travelers with Nigerian passports wishing to travel to the Middle Eastern country. Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, who disclosed this to correspondents at the presidential villa, said the agreement took place immediately. It said today, and that was yesterday, an agreement has been reached. Passport holders are able to obtain visas to go to the Arab Emirates. Mrs. Alami, remember that this UAE and it turned out to be hasty and everything. But the question I ask, why this huge interest in UAE from Nigerians? What's there? I know you've been there several times too. So maybe you speak on behalf of others who are always rushing to this country. What exactly is happening?
Well, I know Dubai the way I know my pap.
I know.
But the thing is this, I think we should give kudos to the Honorable Minister of Aviation and Aeronautics Development, our big brother, Festus Keyamo, SAN, for doing a good job. You know, there was a time when there was this controversy been lifted, but the truth came out yesterday that at long last, the issuance of visa to would-be tourists to Dubai is now settled. Well, you see, there are some routes that are very, very lucrative. Dubai route is one of such. And if I may ask, why do we rush to Dubai as against Singapore, China, Simparsa? Dubai is the new one. And that is what leadership is all about. Transformation. It is in charge of assessing the minister and the public office holders. By now, she should be compiling a report on public office holders, those who are chairwomas or bench warmers, those who are performers, without let or hindrance. Yes, or we can say performer. Without let or hindrance, Festus Keyamo is performing. Without let or hindrance, Dave Umwai is a performer, and there are so many others. Our brother Tuji, the man in Tuji Ojo, the man in interior. There are quite many others, quite right, because the use and misuse and abuse of the media may help and may not help. But then there are some that clearly and unequivocally you could take it to the bank that they are performers. Festus Keyamo has done us proud.
All right. Okay. You can join the discussion 0903 2299797. That's 0903 2299797. You can also call us on 0818 2222205 or 0818-2222-206. You can also call us on 7 in Abuja. Yusu Iyabu. The National and State Houses of Assembly Election Petition Tribunal for Sokoto Zamfara, sitting in Sokoto yesterday, further ordered the sacked lawmaker to pay 500,000 naira as damages to the petitioner as a cost award. The judgment, 3 panel of judges read by the Tribunal Chairman Justice representing Yabo Shagari, Federal Constituency of the House, as null and void. Mr. Salami, this is coming...
Because if it is the Court of Appeal that it will not go to Supreme Court. Well, it's still there, it will still be there, and it will of course take his case to the Court of Appeal, which is the final court in this type of election petition. Well, the one thing is this: unless politicians get their acts right, they will always suffer this kind of fate when they take their case to the tribunal. And one thing is clear: you could see now that the petitioner got judgment in his favor because he presented good
evidence,
reliable evidence. Cogent cause are not cause of emotion; they are cause of law, and you will apply law to facts. What do we mean by facts? Evidence before the tribunal or before the court of competent jurisdiction. And if you are able to satisfy my laws, you will get judgment. I want us to respect the temple of justice and the pronouncements coming out of such temples. Like the lawyers always say that they are ministers in the temple of justice. We should not desecrate the courts in our favor. It is good. We begin to hear unpalatable and unprintable names. We should not go this way. We should not. We should hold the course in high esteem and I do this according to law.
Mr. Salami, I'm just a little bit curious because this is over a year that election took place. I thought there used to be a time limit for the dispensation of these cases.
Yes, they are used to, and it may be a point of law that the man who lost at
the window.
You know what it means. I am sure that you are dusting your notebooks.
Yeah, I'm not you. Alright, it's the Newspaper Review on Citizen FM 93.7. Please do call us and let's have your take on some of the stories that we are treating so far. 0903 2229797. You can also call 818 2222 206. All right, Mr. Salami, let's move on to River State and also the point one against violation. The River State House of Assembly, led by Martins Amaiwili, on Monday wrote to Governor's development followed the expiration of the 7-day ultimatum given to the governor by the lawmakers loyal to the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory in Shomike for him to submit the 2024 budget afresh. The fresh presentation of the budget was among the conditions for P and Fubara in Abuja. Mr. Salami, it does look as if the ding-dong affair in River State is not about to go away so soon.
Drama, because that is what it is going on in River State will not abate soon. Members who purportedly passed it and the governor started spending the money. You know, a school was in a River State. All the superior jurisdiction to say it out of assembly. And let us wait and see what will happen.
All right, so yes, because I think this is an unfolding situation in River State which we are likely to see for some time to come. But still staying with the Punch newspaper, let's just divert and look at this story. I never knew I would live to be 90, showing 308 National Cultural Exchange Program held at Professor Shrinker's ARI residence in Abeokuta. This was as the governor of Ogun State, Dapo Abiodun, announced scholarships and gift of laptops to 9 students who emerged best in an essay competition organized to mark Shrinker's 90th birthday. Mr. Salami, the story of Wole Soyinka is known to all, especially to people who are interested in literary works and writings and stuff like, which I know you are one of them. So when you see or hear about Wole Soyinka,
professors, that he is not William Shakespeare, that he is Wole Soyinka. We are a proud continent, the blacks. I am black and I am proud. It only means that we blacks are not inferior to any human being. I've been saying it. I will continue to say that whoever God has, God will not spend his, makes himself useless. Not to be useful, he will still be useful. Back to Wole Soyinka, when you were describing him as a poet, a playwright, you forgot one. Without being a town under the rock, President Obasanjo comes from. That is the town where Fela Anikulapo Kuti, the legendary Fela Anikulapo Kuti, came from. That is where Ebenezer Obey hails from. And of course, that is where the breeding ground of great men. That is the place where Wole Soyinka hails from. I know that great men come from other parts of Nigeria. They will come here to tell their own. But it's been celebrated our own, especially celebrated. He has lived a very sage. Babajika. But I hope it's not that with his Togi himself. I thank God for his life. He has lived what I call an impactful life. Why? His life has touched the lives of so many people, and I am privileged to have taken this mystery of giving. That is why words come to us naturally. We don't go forwards. That is the magic about the Kongi himself. And
Mr. Salami, let's not go there.
Confraternity. Pirates confraternity.
Okay, well, I think this is celebrating that an unusual gentleman who at 90 still has his faculties intact. I listened to clips from his interview yesterday, and I was marveled. At 90, and this is a man that has touched lives across the world. And you know, if you read his biography, if you listen to his interviews on the path of history, at the age of 18,
Yes.
what is the lot of 18-year-olds today in Nigeria or across the world? Social media, a lot of other things have taken over. Before he was 25, he was already a household name, both in the country and outside. So, and sometimes it saddens my heart when you read certain things on the social media by the younger generation who have not taken time to read the history of nation, the history of individual, 40 plus. There's no way you would have gone through school without having to read one of Wole Soyinka's books, one of Chinua Achebe's books and stuff like that. But today we see the quality of books that are on display and stuff. But then this is time to celebrate this icon. Algon wants upward review of Nigeria. Mahazuru Naive 774 councils in the country. The call followed the recent autonomy granted to local government areas in the country by the Supreme Court. Judgment and President Bola Tinubu for the bold and unprecedented steps taken to address the anomaly that had hit Mr. Salami. And even before this judgment, you know, we took him up on his expectation, and it was quite clear on what they expected. Now it's a dream come true.
You can now see why Citizen FM is where to be, because we always try to be ahead. You remember our encounter with my father, the president of Algon. Was it last week?
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, we played. It is interesting to now know that Oliver Twist will even ask for more. Yes, there's nothing bad in asking for. You understand what I'm saying?
Exactly.
There is the need for accountability and transparency too. And the people are what is reform and are boring and unprecedented. These are commendable adjectives. Mr. President has been taking very hard decisions and unpopular decisions at times. That is the way of the leaders. That is how leaders do. They take decisions that may not go down well initially, but because they have their eyes 10 years after, and that is what is called transformational leadership.
All right, Mr. Salami, let's leave that for now and go to the Daily Trust newspaper. This story also been making the rounds since yesterday or thereabout. Some religious organizations more corrupt than public offices. And this is coming from Who Ought to Know, the EFCC boss. And it says chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, Ola Olukayede, says he has evidence to prove that some religious organizations are more corrupt than public offices in Nigeria. Speaking during a leadership conference, he urged pastors across the country to use their platform not only to preach, but also to demonstrate good character to their congregation. The EFCC boss accused religious this last week that, I quote, "I have had cause to recover how many millions from a religious organization. They appointed you a pastor, and that is when you become a big man. You didn't even know what you are doing to earn a legitimate living. You live on the ministry and the church or mosque money. You can't even explain the source of your wealth." This is coming after the EFCC boss said the commission had recovered a religious sex laundering money terrorists in Nigeria, for terrorists in Nigeria. This is, Mr. Salami, this is huge, coming from no other person than the chairman of the EFCC.
You recall this meeting? My father's house of worship has become not funny. Then, may God help us. If the man who's supposed to know, Pastor Ola Olukaye Koyede, the chairman of EFCC, who should know and who knows, because he said just last week he recovered a humongous amount of money from a religious organization. This is not them say. And this is humanist, because he doesn't believe in God. What precisely are we saying? Religiosity and hypocrisy, are they the same thing? If true, I've been saying it that those who brought Nigeria to its knees economically, if they are not Mohammed, they are Abiodun. If they are not Samuel, they are Patrick. If they are not Sadiq, they are Awa. Where was the Bible?
For that, Mr. Salami, let's leave that and head back to the Punch newspaper before we wrap up. We have, I think, less than 2 minutes to do that. Court okays Kano Emirate law, sacks Bayero others. The Kano State High Court, presided over by Justice Amina Aliu, on Monday perpetually restrained Alhaji Aminu Ado Bayero from parading himself as the Emir of Kano. The court also barred the deposed emirs of Bichi, Rano, Gia and Karaye from parading themselves as Emir. The judge ruled in a suit filed against the 5 deposed emirs.
Customary laws or the chieftaincy laws. That's what I'm saying. You see, don't forget that we are now dancing naked. After the dance, you think those who have ears, let them hear. But in the course of this, please don't set Kano on fire. That is my advice to all the parties involved. This is politics carried too far.
Okay, I think we'll leave it at that. It's politics carried too far as the Emirates torso, Salman Salami, for your interventions on the review. It's always a pleasure to have you on the show.
I am always pleading. I'm just pleading to all our. We are here because of you. And functional information, please don't touch the dial. It is 93.7 FM.
All right, that's a package on newspaper review on Citizen, and enjoy the rest of your day.